great day. Blessings to you. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Behind the Eye of Kie with your host, Kaixa Rodriguez, aka Diamond Butterfly. Make sure you tell a friend and bring a friend. And come on back every Monday at 11:30 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for some hot, candid, informational, and entertaining, sometimes funny, witty conversation about everything under the sun, from music to food to love and laughter, business, and maybe we'll just ramble and chit-chat sometimes. I'm glad to have you. I hope you enjoy the show. Let's go. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sitting here and I'm looking like my mic is on, my camera's on. What is going on? How come y'all can't see me? I can't see myself on the stage, on the camera, and I hadn't put myself in the actual room. So if you hear some barking in the background, I apologize. I'm going to do my best to keep them quiet, but it probably may not work. So I'm hoping to be able to get through this whole show. If not, we'll stop the show, as you guys won't be able to hear me through all the barking. And we will do this off camera and then we'll post it, because I think that today's message is a very, very important one to get out there. I just happened, it's something that's been on my mind lately, but I came across a video last night or the day before of a gentleman bringing awareness to an incident that happened with a young lady having milk dumped on her head because she refused to give a male her phone number. And then there were several comments in there. Zena, several comments in the, here they go already. Several comments in the, about several replies in the comment section, there we go, about how this is not a new thing, and how, you know, they were just giving several different examples of instances like this where women had been accosted, attacked, brutalized, and some even unalived for simply not giving somebody the time of day, not giving somebody their phone number, not allowing somebody to buy them a drink, not, you know, wanting to dance with someone, not wanting to talk to someone. And with all that's going on lately with, you know, women being snatched off the streets, with women, females. And when I say women, I mean women of all ages, from little girls all the way up to elderly, you know, being attacked, being all these different, everything wants to happen to me today. Oh my goodness. I'm going to call my dad back later. Matter of fact, it's, what is going on today? I'm going to have my son call my dad. I am sorry, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm going to have my son call my dad and find out what's going on with him. Call Grandpa. Apologies. But this is what happens when you go live. You know, this is real life. Okay. This is real life. We're in the middle of moving, guys. So that is what it is all about. My dad has some stuff in our basement and we're in the process of moving. So he's probably calling me to say, hey, is it cool if I come by right now to check out his stuff in the basement? So, and then my mom's PCA is here, which is why the dogs are barking. And then we have some friends here that are helping us get some things together. So there is a lot going on, but I did not want to not do this show today because I just came back last week. So I didn't already want to have to put in like a recorded show. And I didn't get this idea until like yesterday, the day before, and we were moving on Saturday. So it's just been a really, really hectic week. So that is my life right now, besides, y'all know, my health and all of that type of stuff. But that's not why we're here to talk today. So when I say women, I mean women of all ages, like I said, from little girls, you know, all the way up to elderly women, you know, having things done to them against their will, being accosted out in the streets. And then we are told it is our own fault. How many times have you seen a woman or heard of a woman or been part of it? You know, even women are, even females ourselves are part of the issue, because we'll blame a woman. Oh, she shouldn't have been out by herself, or look at how she's dressed, or why didn't she just give him her phone number? You know how guys are acting these days. So now, you know, we're once again, since the dawn of time, as I said in one of the posts that I made, since the dawn of time, it's been women's fault. Anything that happens to a woman has been her fault. If she's sexually assaulted, it's her fault. If she's, you know, groped, it's her fault. You know, if anything, she shouldn't have been out alone. She shouldn't have been out unaccompanied, without a man with her. She shouldn't have been where she was. Why was she in that part of town? Why does she have on a skirt, above her knees? Why is her shirt so revealing? Everything is a woman's fault. She's tempting. She's doing this. She's making it look like she's easy. She's making it look like blah, blah, blah. Why is she at a club if she don't want to talk to no guys? Why is she at the store? You know what I mean? Like, if a guy can't talk to her, like, we don't have the right to say, sorry, I don't want to talk to you. Or guys yelling, yo, mama, yo, what's up? What's up? Yo, cutie. And we are supposed to, we have to give you the time of day, because if we don't, then we are in trouble. Then we're being disrespectful. Then we are the one causing the issue. Like, and then all of a sudden, man, you're a slut anyway. I didn't want your number. Get over yourself. You ain't that cute anyway. But 10 seconds ago, you wanted my phone number. 10 seconds ago, you was trying to holler at me. But now that I don't want to holler back, now I'm big, now I'm fat, now I'm ugly, now I'm sloppy, because you don't want to look bad in front of your boys. I know when I was growing up, guys would try to talk to girls, school dances and stuff. And the girl be like, nah. And they'd walk away and their boys be like, oh, she turned you down. But that was it. You went about your business. Like, you weren't mad, try to beat her up. You didn't try to do anything to her because she turned you down. And at some point in time, it's changed. And it doesn't mean that women were safe back then. It just means that a shift has come to now where you can be blatantly out in public on a street and dump milk on a girl's head simply because she didn't want to give you your phone number. And you can hear in this video, guys all around, some guy is videotaping what's going on. And there's a whole bunch of, in the background going on about what this young man is doing to this woman. And these are from other men. And they're just, yo, that's so disrespectful. Yo, he's dumping milk on her head. But nobody is stepping in. No, so I don't know if those are his boys. Maybe those are his boys and they with him. So, of course, they're not going to say nothing to him. Zena. So it's just like, what if that was your mother? What if that was your sister? What if that was your girl? Hey, no. What if that was your girl who walked down the street to the store to get, whatever, some milk for the house, get some food for the baby, and some dude tried to talk to her and she was like, nah, sorry, I don't want to give you my phone number for whatever reason she says. And she's accosted and nobody does anything. Like, this is like the new standard. Nobody steps in. And I know, because the world is crazy, I understand it. Nobody wants to step in because you don't know if people are packing. You don't know where people's mindset is. So they like, I'll just get it on video. But it's crazy that we've come to a point in time where people don't even want to help. People don't want to step in. People don't want to do anything. So you're just left to your own devices. And had this woman protected herself, like, she just stood there and I didn't see this was just a clip. So I don't know where the full video is, but this was just a clip. It was like little 5-second clip of him just pouring the milk on her head and him saying it was because, the guy cut back in and said this was because she didn't want to give him the phone number. And, he went on to say what I said. What if this was your mother? What if this was your sister, your cousin, your niece, your daughter? Yeah, everybody would react afterwards. You come home, but it's like, what if you're watching this video and you're hearing these guys giving their commentary in the background? Yo, that's so mad, disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. But nobody is doing anything. How would you feel if that was your loved one? And, the fact that we've become a society where people are too afraid to even step in because it means that they might lose their life by stepping in to protect someone is just extra crazy. You know what I mean? It's just extra, extra, extra crazy. I can't imagine. I mean, I'm a woman, so I can imagine being in that I can't imagine being in her situation. Like, I don't think any woman ever wants to find themselves in that situation. What do? If you give him a fake number, because most dudes, they're going to try to call. These days, they're calling the number right away. They want to know if you gave them a right number. And then if it turns out to be a wrong number, now they're going to be even more mad. Okay. So if you don't want to give them your phone number, now they're upset with you also. So you can't tell them no. You can't give them anything that's not real. Like, don't give them a fake number. So if you give them your real number, now you are left up to them calling you, day to day, blah, 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 trying to get you to go out. And like, yo, dude, I just gave you my phone number because I didn't want no drama. Like, I really don't want to talk to you. I really like, oh, so you just, now they're even more upset. Like, what is a woman to do? Like, I really, really would like to know. Somebody tell me, what is a woman to do? And when are we going to start holding the assailant responsible for what they did, for what they do, and start changing the mindset of attackers instead of trying to make everybody else, like, women, y'all need to dress this way, like as if elderly women don't get attacked, as if women dressed in their saris from head to toe don't get attacked. It doesn't matter what you have on. It doesn't matter how revealing. It doesn't matter how covered up you are. It doesn't matter how young you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. We've seen people, we've heard, I hope no one has actually seen it happen, but we've heard of ladies, of women who can't move, who are in bed, who are, elderly women stuck in bed, sick women stuck in bed, and who have been attacked by people. So it doesn't matter what you wear, what you do, where you're at, by yourself, wrong part of town, right part of town, at the club, had a few drinks, had no drinks. It makes no difference. If someone wants to do something to you, that is the problem. It's the person who wants to do something who's the problem. It's the person whose mindset it is to do something to someone else, who wants to attack someone else. They're the problem, not the woman minding her business walking down the street. No matter how she's dressed, no matter where she's coming from, no matter how she danced on the freaking dance floor all night long, no matter if you see that she's intoxicated or not, none of that is her fault that she ended up in that situation. It's the person. We need to change the mindset and hold the people responsible who do the deed. Point blank, period, end of discussion. Stop trying to take the responsibility off of the individual, because that's what is leading to more people doing more and more and more crazy things, is they're not being held responsible for what it is that they're doing. So if I know I can attack somebody and I'm not going to be held responsible because society is going to say, well, it's their fault. Why? There's nothing holding me to not do it, right? There's nothing making me think twice about doing it because I know society is going to be on my side. I saw several posts. I'm going to try to pull them up when I had to text my son. It kind of moved everything. But so I saw, Missouri man facing life behind bars for unaliving 2 women 10 years apart. So they probably didn't catch him the first time, and then they finally caught him. But why? Because they rejected him. They weren't interested in him. So he unalived them. This are men today. And I just want to say males, because in my head, and I know people, when you turn 18, you're a man, whatever, when you're born, you're a man, it doesn't matter. When I think of man, I'm thinking of a mature adult. When I say man, I'm thinking of a mature, responsible adult. Okay. That's what I'm thinking of. 18-year-old woman was unalived by a 31-year-old man for rejecting his advances. Once again, a male, 31, could not take the rejection of an 18-year-old young adult. Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Hold on 1 second, y'all. I need to help my mom do something. I'm just going to throw on a song real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, come on now. Yeah. Oh, let's go. Things been a little rough in the past, but today's a new day, and I'ma do things my way. If you can relate to what I'm saying, check it out. Life had been blowing my mind. I've been off on my grind. I needed time to unwind or lose my mind. So I set it off the right way and do attitude, everything will be okay. It's time to take control, to do what I do and resume my role. Are you ready? I'm ready to go. No worries in life can stop my flow. You ready? It's time to use the gifts that God gave me to you. Are you ready? I gotta get in gear. No worries, no fears. It's time for me to shine. I'm leaving all my worries behind. Leaving all of my worries behind. I'm leaving all my worries behind. I'm leaving all of my worries behind. I'm leaving all my worries behind.
All right, I am back. I am back. This is, like I said, this is live, like live TV, things happen. This is a live show, and therefore things happen. So we just gonna roll with the flow, and we're gonna just keep going, because that's why we have music and all of that other stuff to keep you entertained and in the middle of stuff. So like I said, this was a 31-year-old man who could not stomach, wasn't man enough to take that at 18. First of all, you 31, why are you approaching an 18-year-old woman? Not to say that he knew she was 18, but regardless of her age, if she's not interested in you and she doesn't want to talk to you and she doesn't want to give you her phone number, why are men so, and I'm going to use the word soft, that means that you have to take somebody's life. You have to unalive someone because they didn't want to deal with you. Why? I don't understand the mindset. And then people want to blame the woman for that and say, well, she should have just been nicer. She should have just been. Why? We have the right to say, sorry, I'm not interested. No, I don't want to talk to you. No, I don't want to ride home. No, I don't want to give you my phone number. I have a boyfriend. Yes, I'm really married. No matter what, I've had guys where I've said, let me see your ring. Oh, that could be a fake ring. You just got that out. You're not really married. You just don't want to. Like, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, other than doing what they want, they feel like they have a right. Like, why do men feel like they have a right to any woman they want to approach? Like, we do not have the right to say no. Why? I don't understand that. Okay. Man charged after his wife was found alive and their 3 children severely beaten. So not only are men now, this isn't new. I don't want to say now because this is not new, but sorry, piece of hair on my lip. 4 dogs in the house, it's going to happen. Not only are you taking the lives of a woman because she rejected you, didn't want to talk to you, didn't want to give her your phone number, but because she wants to leave you. She doesn't want to be with you anymore. She wants a divorce. She doesn't want to take, whether it's an abusive relationship, whether she's just no longer happy in the marriage or the relationship, whatever it is, she's decided, I don't want to be here anymore. Or you think she might be cheating, or maybe you caught her cheating, or maybe you're cheating. No matter what the situation is, why is taking somebody's life the answer? If nobody is threatening your life, if your life is not in danger, why is taking somebody else's life the answer to whatever is going on. And then not only did this person take the life of his wife, but he attacked his children. Like, and we've seen it on the news. They call them family annihilators. They will take the life of the whole family. If I can't have you, nobody can have you. And there ain't going to be no stepfather in the picture to my children. So everybody's going to go. Why is taking somebody's life, or in the case of the video where the guy poured milk, why? Why name call? First you want to uplift her. Hey, mommy, she's not interested. So now you got to degrade her. Oh, you fat and ugly anyway. Oh, nobody want to talk to you behind it. Like, why does it go to that? Is the male ego so easily bruised that you cannot handle the fact that somebody doesn't want you, somebody doesn't want to be with you, someone doesn't like, maybe just didn't like the way you approached them? Maybe, didn't like, maybe they were having a bad day and just didn't want to talk to anybody. Like, why is it that women just do not have the right to say no? Why do men feel like women can't say no to them? Like, I don't. Oh, this thing just, oh my goodness. Oh. This is why I need an assistant. Anybody want to be my assistant? This is why I need an assistant to do things, because when I'm trying to talk and comment and do all of these, it doesn't always come out right. It just doesn't always work out. If you can type and talk at the same time, you're a good person. It's very hard, because you see me looking over here. I'm trying to comment and make sure that I'm interacting with people that are also watching, but it can become what's the word I'm looking for? Distracting. But don't stop commenting, y'all. Comment. I don't care. Let it be distracting. Comment. I am just trying. What I did was I made a comment to post, and it commented on top of the last comment that I made. So it was 2 comments put together. So now I got to go back in and delete them all so I don't look like I'm crazy. So yeah, that's really what happened. I really, is the male ego so easily that he can't, that he so easily bruised that he can't handle rejection? And I hate to even call it rejection, and that's probably why, because society calls it rejection. A man, she rejected him. No, she just wasn't interested. That's not rejection. You know what I mean? And I guess that's where, and then, someone say, well, then what is it called? She wasn't interested. For whatever reason, she was not interested. So stop looking at it as somebody rejected you. She just wasn't interested. She didn't want to give you her phone number. She doesn't have to. She didn't want to talk to you. She doesn't have to. She didn't want to, pay any attention to your cat calls. She does. Maybe you approached her in a very nice, mature way, but maybe she just wanted to sit at the bar tonight and just have a couple of drinks and not talk to anybody. She has that right. Maybe she just got out of work and she happens to work in a bad part of town. She has every right to walk down the street, to get to the bus stop, or to get home without having to worry about who's lurking down the shadows and who's in the alleys. You know what I mean? Sorry. Getting my protein in. Actually, not sorry, because this is a 2-hour show. If I go 2 hours, but I got to get my protein in. I really got to get back on track with that. So is the male ego so easily, and how do we change that? Is it, like we've been talking A lot of the different shows here on Trailblazer Radio, we have been talking about relationships and love and relationship standards and what's the word, assignments. You know, who does this, who's supposed to do that, all these different types of things, and um, communication and all of it. But we've been talking about, how do you fix things? If something's broken, how do you fix it? And you know, we keep coming back to this. It starts with you, you know. But for this, I want to say it starts at home. You know, I want to say that with this, it starts at home. It starts with good parenting. It starts with a positive, loving environment, with a young man and a young woman seeing mom treated a particular type of way, with seeing dad treat mom a particular type of way, whether you two are together or not. You don't have to be with her to treat her respectfully. You don't even have to like her. But in front of your children, you treat her with respect. In front of your children, ladies, you treat dad with respect. You talk about him when your children are around with respect, because that bolsters a healthy mindset, a healthy frame of mind for your children moving forward. That, yeah, my parents weren't together, but they still acted a particular way towards each other. Not when I was at dad's house, he was talking about F mom and da 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 da, and mom is always talking about F dad da, da, because y'all chose each other at some point in life, right? So there's no need in dumping down on him now, because he was everything when you got with him, you know. So now that things didn't work out the way that they were, or he was abusive, or she was this, that doesn't matter. You made the decision, you've moved on, so be happy in your decision to move on, but be cordial to each other. You don't have to be all lovey-dovey and all. Be cordial, you know, to each other, and teach your children to be cordial and to be respectful, and that all people, women, men, young, old, deserve respect. I think that starts at home, watching what they listen to. We love to say TV, you know, the new thing is that, you know, TVs and movies and music and video games, they have no play whatsoever on the mindset. They don't change your mind. They don't influence your mindset. They don't influence your thoughts. But we all know differently, right? We all know differently. We all know that when certain music was much more positive, much more loving, much more talking about relationships and staying in relationships and calling women you know, loving and positive names, that certain cultures, certain were different, right? They emulated what they saw. And now that that has changed to a much more degrading topic, you know, the music is much more degrading of women. The music is much more outwardly talking about, I'm gonna slip something into her drink. Outwardly, you know, I'm gonna just get what I can get. Outwardly being degrading and calling women out of their names on both sides. Because, you know, women, we can be, I know that the topic of the show was about the male ego, but women can be just as ego bruised as men can be. We just don't hear about it as much in the news, because men don't want to be shunned by their peers by saying they felt some particular way because women rejected them, you know. So you're not going to hear as much. But we, you know, we've seen them, crazy women, you know, the media was, you know, crazy woman slashed her man's tires, you know, bashed in his windows because he left her, you know, you're not, and, you know, there's been even cases with women who have unalived the man because, you know, he moved on. So it does happen on both sides of the fence. We just know that historically things happen more to women. And when it happens to men, no one's going to blame the man. They're still going to blame the woman. No one's going to say, well, that man shouldn't have been there. Well, that man shouldn't have left that woman. Well, that man should have waited. No one's going to say that to a man. They're about a man. They're going to say, Yo, man, that girl is crazy. He shouldn't have been with her. That's probably what they'll say. At the end of the day, they'll blame him for being with a crazy woman. That's about it. And then they'll put it on her. She should have just let him go, blase, blase. But no one's going to, blame the man. But when things happen to a woman, they blame the woman. So it's like, no matter what, if we're the aggressor, if we're not the aggressor, if we're the one getting attacked, we are still liable. We are still the one to blame, even when something is happening to us. So how do we change that narrative? How do we change the narrative? How do we change the narrative? How do we change it so that it's not the woman's fault? How do we stop males from thinking that every woman owes them the time of day? Every woman must pay them attention, even when they're being disrespectful. Even if you are being the kindest, nicest, and you could be the kindest, nicest, man on the planet. It does not mean that any woman that you talk to must talk to you back, must give you her phone number, must go on a date with you, must even say, people do not have to interact with anybody they don't want to. And how do we get that across to people? How do we change that mindset? How do we change that mindset? Where, and I can't even say where did the mindset come from, because it's just been here, like I said, since the dawn of time. This has been the narrative. If you're a woman, it's your fault. Plain simple, it's your fault. And for eons, you couldn't give what is it? I can't think of the word. You couldn't do anything sexually to a woman and get in trouble for it, because it was her fault. Even if you were married, she's supposed to. She's your wife. So no, you can't R her, because it's yours. She's your property now. And women were seen as, you could spank your wife, not in a I can't even think of the word, but, not in a sexual way, like you calling yourself giving her a spanking because she's not listening to you. Like, I don't understand coming together and breaking the cycle, normalizing saying no. Definitely. Hey, normalizing saying no. Yeah. I mean, we talk the good talk, right? We talk the good talk. We tell our daughters, you have the right to say no. You have the right. I just saw another one. I'm going to pause for a second because I want to make sure that I type this up completely right. So I'm going to try to talk. And good morning, Milla. Thank you for hopping on, love. I'm going to try to contain, because I don't want y'all to sit here in silence while I try to type this and say this. I might say it while I type it. So I want us to normalize allowing and supporting our children in not wanting to give physical contact anyone, even family. Okay, so I just saw a video the other day. This one was probably yesterday, and I was just like, yes, thank you, appreciate it. Why? And this goes back to teaching women that we don't have the right to say no. It starts early. We tell our children, you have the right to say no. If something doesn't feel comfortable, you don't have to do it, whether it's me or dad or uncle or auntie or, nobody has the right to make you do something that you don't want to do, right? And then as soon as grandpa comes over or even grandma comes over and they want to give you a hug, and at a very young age, like you don't really want to give them a hug, we force them to. Go on and give grandpa a hug. He just give him a hug, right? We force them to. And as they get older, we do the same thing. Come here, baby girl, give me a hug. She don't want to. Girl, give your uncle a hug. You have just took away, you're sending mixed messages. On one side, you say, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You have the right to say no. Grandpa, grandma, mommy, uncle, daddy, whoever, teacher, no one can make you do something that you don't want to do. But then as soon as somebody in the family wants them to do something that they don't want to do, you're thinking, oh, it's just a hug. Why don't you want to give them a hug? They don't want to. Because they don't want to. It doesn't mean somebody's done something to them, but it could. Yes. Parents should normalize not forcing toxicity or negative energy. You have no idea why. Maybe they just don't like me. I'm not a big hugger. I really am not. Some people's energy draws me to them and I don't mind hugging. I'm not a big hugger of guys. I don't like when guys just come in and want to hug. That makes me very standoffish. And then some people want to hug a little bit too long, or you ever have that person that gives you a look that just makes you uncomfortable, and then they want to come in and draw, like they just look at you like they trying to see, like they have x-ray vision and they want to see what's underneath your clothes. Like there are people like that, and you don't know why your child, it could just be a 2-year-old who's just having a bad day. They don't want to hug. Maybe at 2 they don't want to hug. You know what I mean? I don't know who this man is. You say he my uncle, but I never seen him a day in my life. I don't want to give him a hug. Right? Like, especially as adult, you could be people have been traumatized, and people have gone through things. I love, like we went to church yesterday, and I love one of the sisters there. She doesn't just give a hug. She always asks permission. She always says, is it okay if I give you a hug? I love that, because even if I'm in my feelings about not wanting to hug, the fact that she asked for my permission first makes me want to embrace her. And for me, it's like a thank you for asking if it's okay, because people just come in, and I have to admit that I don't always ask permission. I generally just go in for the hug with certain people, because socially we are conditioned to think that, especially if it's your friend, that's how we're supposed to greet each other. We're supposed to hug. Guys do that one-handed, maybe they fist pumping. We're conditioned that that's what we're supposed to do. But everybody doesn't want to be touched. Everybody doesn't like hugging. It doesn't make everybody comfortable. You could be doing something to somebody that could be a trigger to them. You could be bringing up old traumas. They may not want that. So get permission and know that people are, they have the right to say no. Your children, support your children. I love that in the video, the mom 100% backed her daughter. Now, I know it was a setup. It was planned. It was a skit, because you didn't see the uncle. He was probably the one videotaping, and he was like, hey, hey, my niece, how are you? And she was like, hey. He was like, come here, give me a hug. And she was like, no, I'm okay. I'm just gonna wait. And he was like, girl, get over here and give me a hug. And she was like, again, no, I'm okay. And he was like, sis, tell her to give me a hug. And she was like, no. She said she doesn't want to give you a hug. She's not the hugging type. Because she did explain, I don't really like to hug. I'm not a touchy-feely kind of person. And she was, explaining this to her brother. And he was like, it's just a hug. And she was like, she already told you she don't want to hug. If you can't respect her boundaries, you can leave. And he was like, I think you're overreacting. And she was like, well, I guess you can leave then. So, I mean, I loved that she Like I said, I know it was a skit, but it brought attention to be mindful of what you teach your children. You cannot tell your children on one side, you cannot tell your children on one side that you're free to tell people no. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And then on the other side, force them to do things that they don't want to do. Physical touch. Hugs aren't like handshakes. It's more intimate and physical. Not everyone likes that. They may not even like getting touched, period. So ask permission. Ask permission. Like, do you mind if I hug you? Do you prefer a handshake? Some people don't want none of that. Some people just want you to wave like, hey, girl, what's up? You don't know what somebody's been through. And people have the right to say no. Women, men, we all have the right to say no. And if your ego is so easily, bruised, that the fact that somebody doesn't want to give you their phone number, doesn't want to take, like I've said repeatedly, don't want to take the time to anything. If they don't want anything, no matter what it is, if your ego is so easily bruised that your only recourse is to discredit them by, now they went from pretty to ugly. You, like the guy in the video, you got to dump a carton of milk on her head, or you go to the extreme of unaliving someone because they didn't want to give you their phone number, or they didn't want to talk to you. You need mental health. Like I love yesterday, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We talked about mental health in church yesterday. Mental health and mental illness being two different things. Everybody needs to keep up on their mental health, right? Just like you need to keep up on your health. We have our physical health, right? Physical health, and then there's physical illness. If you have an illness, you take care of that illness, and then you may not have that illness anymore. But everybody's physical health is one thing, right? So your mental health is, how are you doing? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you depressed today? Are you going through something? Are you in mourning? That's your mental health, right? We all go through things. We all have things. Our mental health can go in different shifts. I'm happy this morning. I'm tired today. All of that. But then mental illness is when you get stuck in something, right? Maybe you have DID, dissociative ID. Maybe you've been through some things and you just can't get a way out. You can't figure out how to get out of it. You get stuck in depression. You have postpartum depression. There's so many illnesses and things that our mind can get stuck in. And I love that our church talked about it, because it wasn't just pray through it. It wasn't just, girl, you're depressed, just pray about it. It was more than that. You don't tell somebody when they broke their leg to just pray about it. Gotta heal that broken leg. Don't even go to the hospital. You wouldn't tell somebody, with high blood pressure to just pray about it. You wouldn't tell somebody with heart disease to just pray about it. You would send them to the doctors because you don't want them to have a heart attack, and probably say pray. But you also would send them to, like, you wear glasses. So you did something to correct your vision. You didn't just pray about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of the things that I loathe. There's certain things that people say, but they don't just pray about those other things. But then when it comes to mental health, they act like it's no big deal. We have a lot of people unaliving themselves, hurting other people, doing all of this craziness because their mental health isn't 100%, isn't where it should be. They are going through things, so they take it out on the rest of the world. So if your male ego, if you've been through something in your life, maybe you don't know, but if your male ego is so, or female ego, because like we said earlier, both men and women have attacked others for simply not wanting to talk to them, for what society says rejecting them. But you have a right, even if you want to say rejecting them, you have a right to not want to talk to someone. You have a right to not want to give someone your phone number. That is a personal link. I have a right to say, I don't know you. I'm not giving you my phone number. Like, no, I don't even know who you are. I don't know if you're crazy. I don't know if you're a serial killer. And no, I'm not giving you that personal. access to me and I don't know anything about you? No, I have a right to do that. I have a right to be walking home from wherever. Is it a safe neighborhood? Maybe not, but maybe I don't have a choice. Maybe my car broke down and I'm trying to get somewhere. Maybe I don't have any money on my card to call an Uber. You know what I mean? And then things happen to women and men in Uber. So is there anywhere safe for a woman left on earth? Is there anywhere safe that a woman could be? You can't be in a store because you got to watch your back because there are people out here trying to snatch women, snatch children. Is there anywhere safe? And when are we going to start, like I said, treating the attacker or blaming the attacker, holding the attacker responsible for what they do and not telling the victim that they are to blame? It's your fault that you got attacked because you did X, Y, and Z. Not it's the attacker's fault because they chose to do it. They chose to attack so and so. Why isn't it that person's fault? Why do we try to flip it and make the person who was attacked responsible? Like I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, so I told y'all a couple. Let's see. Yep, that's not my pen. That's not my pen. Okay, woman unalived after rejecting a man's advances at a bar. 29-year-old woman, mother of 3. Why? Because she didn't want to talk to him. She's just out trying to have a nice time at a bar, at a club, or at whatever. And he could not handle the fact that she didn't want to talk to him. So he chose to unalive her. And society would say, well, she should have just talked to him. She should have just been nicer. She didn't have to. Maybe she was rude with the way that she said it to him. I don't care if she said, get away from me. I don't want to talk to you. I don't care how she said it. It doesn't give you the right to take her life. It does not give you the right to take her life. Like, why would anybody think that that's okay? Women killed, unalived, just for saying no. Just for saying, I'm not interested. This was the one that really got me. This woman and her, I think it said fiance, were out enjoying a morning. I think they said they were like on scooters that you could rent. So they're just out riding through town, and a guy approached and was catcalling the woman. Now she's with her man. She's not walking by herself. She is out with her partner. And you are a dude in a car driving, and you see she is with her man, and you are catcalling her and saying whatever you're saying. And she's like, dude, I'm obviously with my man. I'm not interested. Keeps going. Her man is like, can you not? Like, this is my girl. Can you not? He gets upset. Now he's mad. Not only have you rejected me, but now your man gonna get involved. So now I gotta show I'm the bigger man, right? Now I gotta show I'm the bigger man. And he attacks them. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? Like, somebody help me understand. Help me understand. Like, if you're a guy and you have any sense of why, let me know. Because maybe I'm missing something. But I don't think I'm missing something, but I could be. Like, I could be missing something. So, let me know. Okay. So this one came with a picture. I don't know if you can see it. Apologies if you know the people. My condolences, I should say. One person was obsessed with the other. Colleagues in the Coast Guard, married, repeatedly turned down the advances of the other person, was then attacked, and this person's spouse was also attacked. This person planned to break into their home, armed with weapons and fatally unalived the object of their obsession, leaving the spouse in critical condition. Once again, this person has a partner. First one was with their partner, driving, leisurely bike ride down the street. This person you knew was married. Y'all were together. Y'all worked together, so you know that they have a partner. Complete lack of respect of boundaries. Exactly. I don't care if you're married. I want you. You should leave your partner and be me, or at least be with me on the side. And in this case, they're not interested in men. They're not from what I'm reading. Yeah, it appears, because it does say he, unless I'm misreading, he was obsessed with her, but she was married to another woman. So you know she's not into your kind, your manhood, but you don't care. You want her, and if the wife is in the way, I'm going to take you both out. Like I don't understand. I don't understand. Every person has come from a woman, unless you are, born in a petri dish or something. I don't think they're doing that with humans just yet, So I don't think you were born in a petri dish. I don't think you were, some cells that were just put together and they, like we see on TV and in the movies, and you were in some big cylinder. They're not doing that yet with humans. So you came from a woman. And even if that they got the cells from a woman somewhere, life does not start without women. There is no life without a woman. Okay, so you came from a woman. How would you feel if someone did this to your mother, to your daughter? Like, which is why I never understand abusive men. I never understand men or women who abuse another person, because I'm like, how would you feel if someone you love was going through this? How. And then I'm never going to accept the excuse that so and so was high. I'm never going to accept men who, like the one that I mentioned earlier, where he unalived his wife and then brutally attacked the children. If he was high or he was, I don't want to hear that, because there was something in you already, I believe, to make you want to do this. And then if there's not, say y'all had a beautiful whatever relationship, marriage, whatever, everything was good, and you got a bad hit of something and it made you go off the deep end and it made you blah 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 blah, I'm not taking you back. I'm sorry, because how do I know you're not going to do that again? I'm not. I could never trust you. I would never be able to be safe in your presence, because every time you picked up a knife to cut some chicken, I'm going to be triggered. I'll instantly be taken back to that day that you held something in your hand or choked me out or whatever it was. I would instantly be taken back to that moment. So we could be no more. That would be it. We could be no more. But like we talked about, on a couple of shows earlier, sometimes people, when they've been traumatized, stay longer and things. But when you try to get up the courage and the nerve to walk away, what happens? You get unalived. Because how dare you want to leave me? How dare you make me look bad by walking? How many news reports have we seen, or just TV shows, which are based on things that go on, right? Everything isn't fantasy on TV. Some of these things, they can say it because it's happening in the world. How many times have we read the news, saw the news, heard something that happened about, somebody trying to leave? And no, we don't do divorce in this family. That's not what happens. So either you're going to stay or you're going to go missing. What? Like, So you cannot take somebody leaving you, like your ego, your manhood, your femalehood. I know, and I'm gonna put it on both sides, because I know the topic was about, this happening with males being the aggressors, but this is equal opportunity, because women do it as well. Women, unfortunately, do it as well. It's that anybody does it is unfortunate. You know what I mean? That this happens to anyone is unfortunate, and it's sad. It's so sad. Um, so let's see. Let me see if I can get back to the full video.
Her phone number.
Let me see if it'll play again. I don't know if y'all can see it. Come on, play.
All of that because she did not want to give him her phone number.
Okay, so his name is Dante Walker. So, like I said, it's just a clip. He just shows a little clip of the video. And I believe that was on TikTok. Was that on TikTok, or was that on, I think that was on TikTok. It might have been on Facebook or Instagram. But that was just a little clip. That's where this whole thing came from, because I'm just like, after reading the comments and seeing the people talk about how many more times that it just reminded me of how many news articles I had actually seen about women being unalived for just saying no. Sorry, I'm not interested. How many, it used to be, when I was growing up, they talked about construction workers, being on a construction job, and a female will walk by and the guys will be whistling at her and stuff. And they said it in like a funny way, like we were supposed to be okay with that, but it was kind of like this is what construction workers do. This is what, guys who are just around guys all day outside in the job. This is just how they act. Guys will be guys, boys will be boys, the boys club, that this is just what guys do. It's harmless. Ladies, get over yourself. And like, we're supposed to see it as a badge of honor. We're supposed to like be, ooh, with it, and be all like swooning because these grown men are whistling and, ooh, baby, look at that. We're supposed to be honored by that. And it's gone from, the simple cat calls and the simple, whistling, to trying to grab you and, groping you, and, all the way up to unaliving you or degrading you because you don't respond in kind to their advances. How dare you have the wherewithal to say you are not interested in me? How dare you say you are not interested in me? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to tell me in front of my peoples, especially? Don't let them be with their boys, because now their ego really can't handle it, because now I'm out here with my boys and you done dissed me in front of my boys. So now I got to do something back to you. Why? Why do you have to do something back? Why can't it just be that I'm just not interested? She's just not interested. It's okay. I'm sorry. I don't want to give you my phone number. Okay, that's cool. Can we sit and just talk then? Especially if you're at a bar or something, or maybe she's just not interested. Maybe she really does have a boyfriend. Maybe she's not looking for everybody doesn't want to be in a relationship. Maybe she just got out of one and she's just looking for some time. Whatever it is, she doesn't even have to explain why she doesn't want to give you her phone number, why she doesn't want to talk to you, why. She doesn't have to explain anything. All she has to say is no, thank you. I'm not interested. No, I don't. That's it. Your response as a mature male should be, okay, thanks. My bad. I hope you have a beautiful day. Not even my bad, because you didn't ask anything wrong. No need to apologize, because you didn't do anything wrong, depending on how you asked, depending on how you approached her. You didn't do anything wrong. You asked for some time. She declined. End of the day. That should be the end of the conversation. Like, Coco, I don't understand why it needs to be anything more than that. I don't understand why it needs to become or end with somebody losing their life. I just I don't, you know. Um and then, so like we've said, that it's not just single women. It's not just, women declining to give men attention. It's women in relationships, married women. It's women in nursing homes, women in ICU, young girls. We saw 18, 31-year-old man unalived her because she didn't want to give him her phone number. She's 18, dude. To her, you're some creepy old man. 16, 15, 10, 8. We've seen all types of crazy things happen to females across the ages, across the cultures. Healthy, it doesn't matter. Too many men think that women's bodies are theirs to do whatever they want whenever they want, and you don't have the right to decline their advances. You don't have the right to leave them. You don't have the right to say no. And I don't know if it's culture. I don't know if it's TVs. I don't know if it's music. I don't know if it's taught at home. I don't know if it's just guys, being pressured by their friends, oh, dude, she turned you down, ha ha ha. So now you're being laughed at by your boys. So now you feel like you got to do, which goes back to male ego, which goes back to that, whole sense of, you can't make me look bad in front of my peoples. Like, how are you looking bad? Like, again, that goes back to, you're supposed to accept any advance from any guy because you don't have the right to tell them no. That's the only way that makes sense, because otherwise, how do you look bad that she's not interested in you? She doesn't have to be interested in you. She doesn't have to be. So that's a whole thing right there. Why are you laughing at your boy because she wasn't interested? Why is that funny? She doesn't have to be. So now you're making him feel bad, which in turn makes him feel like he's got to do something to reclaim his manhood. So he's going to degrade her. He's going to say something negative about her. Or like we're talking about today, worst case scenario is he takes her life. I mean, we've gone from women being stoned to death just for looking at a man. If she's married or unmarried, you didn't have a place. You couldn't even look at a man. You couldn't be out walking alone because, God forbid, some man see you out by yourself and decide to take advantage of you. It's your fault. You shouldn't have been out by yourself. Right? To now, no matter where you are, now women are still taking your life because you just won't give them the time of day. When have women ever been safe in the presence of men? When have women ever had the right to have their own lives be their own and be able to deny an advancement from a man? I don't think women have ever been able to do that. You in Bible times, you didn't get to pick your husband. You were just kind of sold, this, we're going to put you with this family because they're wealthy and their son needs a daughter and it's going to be good for the family. Whether or some arranged marriage, you don't even know who your husband is. You don't know what type of man he is. You were just property, to be You didn't have any rights as a woman. And we know this because we can still find TV ads right here in the United States, like I said earlier, that talked about when your woman not behavior, just put her over your knee and give her a good old spanking. Right here in America. So when have women ever been safe and able to stand up for the rights of their own body? I don't think we ever have. And I don't know how you get that mindset out of a man that it's almost as if it's ingrained into their DNA, that women are just here for men's pleasure. It's almost as if it's just like burned into men's DNA, that boys will be boys type of attitude. And, oh, it's just guys having fun. They didn't mean nothing by it. Really? She should get over it. She should just learn how to have fun. She's taking it too seriously. So a group of guys surrounded a woman and began to grope her. And y'all just want to say that's boys being boys. And she should just, they was just having some playful fun. She was taking it too serious. Really? Really? Like really, when have women ever really been safe in the presence of men? I don't know. I don't know. Will women ever truly be safe and have 100% rights to our own bodies, to our own minds, to come and go freely as we are without even other women degrading us? Like, it's not just men who say, oh, she's taking it too serious. Oh, she shouldn't have been there. Oh, she shouldn't have been doing this. Oh, it's not just men who think that way. There are a lot of women who will be in the comments of a posting of something terrible that's happened to a female. And there will be other women in there blaming that female, blaming that sister about what happened. I wonder if you would say the same thing if it was your daughter. I wonder if your daughter was that girl at the club or at the bar with her girlfriends, just out having a nice time after final exams. They wanted to go out and just celebrate. And she's on the dance floor, just chilling and enjoying herself, dancing to her favorite song, when a group of guys surround her and start groping her. I wonder if your thought process would be, well, her skirt was too short. Oh, the guys were just having fun. They didn't mean anything by it. I wonder if you would have the same reaction. I wonder if as a man, you would have the same reaction to that happening to your daughter, or if you'd be ready to go hunt those dudes down. I wonder if a man treated your daughter the way you think about women, not even the way you actually treat women, but the way you think about women in your head, the things that you say about women in your head that you would never say out loud. I wonder if a man treated your mother that way, your sister that way, every female in your world, especially your daughter that way, if you'd be okay with it. Because a lot of us are quick to get on, especially social media today, because we say things on social media that we would never say in public, right? You would never go up to somebody and say half of the things that people post on social media. Because social media has given us the faceless, blankless way to say things, knowing that, well, they don't know where I live. They don't know who I am. They have a picture of me. Maybe they can get to my Facebook page or whatever, but they don't really know me. So I can say what I want. right? So people say all of these mean, hateful things across social media that they would never say in person. But I wonder if somebody treated your family, your precious daughter, the way that you think about women, if you'd be okay with it. You know, think about that. Would you be okay? There I go trying to type and talk. Would you be okay with that? Or would you be ready to get out there and handle things? You know, would you be trying to go handle things? I can't type, y'all. I can't. And it's my fault because I don't have my glasses on. I'm just thinking. I want that to sink into some of y'all. Like, I really want you to think, when women and men, like, ladies, would you be okay with somebody treating your son the way you treat or the way you think about men? You know, do you think of men as just a means to an end? You know, they're just here to pay my bills, and they're just here to do X, Y, and Z. So if your son had a girlfriend who thought the same, would you be calling her a gold digger? Why is she a gold digger? And why is she just trying to use your son if that's the way you treat all men? Why is it okay for you to do it, but it's not okay for somebody else to go after your son the same way? You know, why? We've got to stop with these double standards. You know, it's okay for me to do it, but it's not okay for you to do it. It's okay for me to act this way, but it's not okay for you to act this way. It's okay for me to talk this way and do these things, but it's not okay for you to do it. What they say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Don't really know what a goose is. I know what a goose is, but what's a gander? I don't know. But if it's good for you, it should be good for anybody else. A lot of people cannot take people treating them the way, what do they say? When I pull a you on you, you can't handle it. If you can't handle it, don't dish it out. If you can't handle it, don't dish it out. If you wouldn't like to see it done to somebody else, don't do it to other people. Like, if you would have a conniption fit if somebody treated your mother the way you treat your girl, why are you treating your girl that way? If you had a daughter and you'd be like livid if some man was treating your daughter the way you treat your girl, then is it okay for you to treat your girl that way? If you don't like, you know, if you wouldn't appreciate a man getting upset like we're talking about because your daughter didn't want to give him her phone number, then why are you getting upset and calling somebody else's daughter out of her name because she don't want to give you hers? She doesn't have to. And I'm gonna keep saying it until I'm blue in the face, or at least until the show is over. She does not have to. She doesn't have to give you her phone number. She doesn't have to talk to you at all. He doesn't have to talk to you, ladies. He doesn't have to stay with you if he doesn't want to. If he's ready to move on and he's no longer happy, he doesn't have to. If he doesn't want to buy you a drink at the club, he doesn't have to. And nobody has to explain why. She doesn't have to tell you why she doesn't want to talk to you. She doesn't have to tell you why she don't want to give you her phone number. Now, if she gives you a reason and you still don't believe it, that's not her fault. I can show my ring. I've had plenty of guys be like, yeah, whatever. That's some little Walmart's, fake ring. You just got that on to blow niggas off. Maybe I do. But if I do, it's because y'all just won't take a no. So now I got to go to extra and extra. But this is real. This isn't me. Y'all done seen my husband. But there's been times when I was single and I had to walk around with a ring on my finger and be like, I'm engaged. And they'd be like, oh, engaged don't mean married. I still got time. No, you don't. What? If she's with somebody, whether they are engaged or married, that doesn't mean that you have time to go in and change her mind. Could you imagine? What if you were engaged to a woman and some guy was like, "Oh, so he ain't wifed you yet, so I still got time." You'd be livid. Why is it okay for you to do it to somebody else's partner? I just, we've lost, like somebody, Fred had said earlier, accepting boundaries, accepting somebody saying, "I decline your offer." How do you not respect that, but then want somebody to respect it for you? You know, they want somebody to respect it for you. You know, so what I want, I'm gonna stop in a couple of minutes, but what I want you guys to really, really take away from the show is a couple of things. One, everybody has a right to say no, no matter who it is. Like we talked about with, I don't want to hug you, I don't want to touch you, I don't want to shake your hand. Parents, respect your children's boundaries. If they are a 1-year-old and they don't want to go to the arms of somebody else, do not force them to. My granddaughter is 5 months. If I try to pass her off to a friend who wants to hold her and she's trying to pull back at me, I'm not going to force her to go to somebody else, because you're teaching them early they do not have the right to say no. A 5-month-old, a 6-month, if they're uneasy, they don't know that person. They're strangers. Stranger danger. There could be some energy or some vibe that person is giving off, that baby's like, nah, I don't even want to go over there. But you're going to force them to. Then when they start crying, y'all laughing and thinking it's funny. Listen, y'all think they just babies. So I guess y'all think babies don't have emotions. Y'all think babies can't pick up on vibes. I mean, come on. Everybody has a right. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Oh, go give Uncle so-and-so a hug. They don't want to, and they should have a right to say no. You cannot tell somebody you have a right to say no, but then turn around and force them to do stuff. So no matter your child's age, parents, respect your child's feelings. Adults, ask permission before you go in for a hug. Ask if they prefer a hug. Can I hug you? Handshake? How do you work this? Everybody that isn't a hugger, as it was said. And hugs, as it was said, is more intimate than a handshake. I don't want to hug everybody. And I am guilty of not asking permission. And I'm not a hugger. I am not a hugger. But I'm guilty of going into a hug without asking permission. And like I said, it's because it doesn't make it right. But society says that's how we're supposed to. You know, that's your girlfriend, that's your friend, that's your best friend. That's how we're, especially as women, that's how we're supposed to. We've been taught that this is socially acceptable behavior. Guys is like, yo, what's up? Ladies, oh, hi, girlfriend. But everybody doesn't want that. So get people's permission before you just touch them. Some people you might be triggering them and they're inside screaming, get off me, get off me, get off me, get off me. And you think they're fine, but you could have just ruined their whole day. Okay. That's number one. Respect people's boundaries. Parents, do not give double standards to your children. Do not tell them they can say no and then remove their right to say no. Okay. Number two, everybody has the right to say no. I'm going right back into that. Everybody has the right to say no. She or he does not have to give you the time of day. They do not have to give you their phone number. They do not have to give you their name. They do not have to strike up a conversation with you. They do not have to accept a ride home from you. They do not have to tell you they don't have to say boo to you. And if they decline to give you their phone number, they don't have to explain why either. You should be man or woman enough to just accept they don't want to. Just be man or woman enough. Be mature enough to accept they don't want to. You don't need an explanation because you ain't going to believe the explanation either. And the explanation is not going to make you feel any better about the so-called rejection. Why is it a rejection anyway? They just declined your offer. That's why people get all upset because, oh, she rejected me. No, she didn't. She just declined your offer. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have to accept your offer. He does not have to accept your offer. He doesn't have to do anything other than what we want to do. That's all we have to do. what we want to do. I do not have to do what you want me to do. I don't. This isn't slavery time anymore. You're not my master. I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. I'm a married woman. I don't have to do what my husband wants me to do, and he doesn't have to do what I want him to do. Now, there's certain things I would like for him to do. There's certain things he would like for me, but it's still my choice. I'm a free person. We don't do that. You have to. Now, the only thing and even with that, I can say he has to respect me. He has given contract that says I will do X, Y, and Z until death do us part. But that's still his choice. He's under contract, but there are consequences for him not living up to his end of the contract. But there's no I have to. No, because we all have freedom of choice. We all have freedom of choice. So I do not have to entertain your advancements, whether they come nice or they come in a disrespectful way. You also have freedom of choice. You get to choose how you react to somebody's declining your attention. Are you going to now degrade them because they went from pretty and sexy and handsome to now fat and ugly and unattractive and all of this stuff because they don't want to give you the time of day? Are you going to go to the extreme and take their life? That's crazy. That's the super extreme. Like, she don't want to give me her phone number, so now I got to take her life. He don't want to, buy me a drink. So when he come out from the club tonight, all his tires are going to be slashed. What? What are we doing? Why? 3, it's mental health awareness. Everybody get your mental health checked. Get it checked. You might not even know that there are things going on with your mental health. I think everybody should at least have 1 or 2 or maybe 1 month sessions. So that's 4 sessions with a therapist. Just get in there and talk about some things. Maybe it's a once a month. You check in with somebody on a once a month basis just to have somebody to talk to, get some things off your chest, unload stuff from work, unload stuff from home. Because there's a lot of things that we carry inside of us. We don't let them go. They talked about it at church yesterday. You got to feel in order to deal, in order to heal. You have to allow yourself to feel the pain. Allow yourself to feel what it is that's bothering you. Allow yourself to feel whatever it is. Allow yourself. And that's the one that most people don't want to do. And I can attest to that. I have a lot of things in my past. I don't want to feel it because it's scary. It's hurtful. It's going to bring up emotions that I don't want to deal with. So if you don't want to deal, you don't want to feel. You don't want to feel because you don't want to deal. You can never heal. So you got to give yourself permission to feel. That's the hardest one to deal with. It's to feel the pain, feel the emotions so you can deal with them. Figure out why this is a trigger. Figure out why when somebody acts like this, I go off the deep end. Why when the house isn't particularly perfect, it makes me feel a particular way. Why when my partner says X, Y, and Z, I fly off the handle or I feel neglected or whatever it is. Feel so you can deal and then you can heal. Once you know what the triggers are, once you know what the emotions are, once you can deal, now you know why this happens. Now you can begin to say, okay, so how do I heal from this pain? How do I get beyond this? How do I figure out how to let go of these pains and these triggers so that I can become a more healthy mental person? So that I can let go of the mental illness. I can get healed from the mental illness and my mental health can be more stable. Because we're saying mental health and mental illness are 2 different things. Everybody's mental health. Happy, sad, glad, mad, depressed. That's mental health. We all have it. Our status right now with our mental awareness is our mental health. Everybody doesn't have a mental illness. Okay. Just like I said, your physical health, everybody has a physical health. Your arms, your heartbeat, everybody has it. How is your physical health? Do you have heart disease? Do you have hype? Those are physical illnesses. Everybody doesn't have those things. Some people are perfectly healthy. They don't have anything going on. They're healthy. So they don't have any physical illnesses. Everybody doesn't have a mental illness. But I think everybody needs somebody to talk to. And it may not be your partner. It may not be your mama. It may not be your daddy. It may not be your boy. You need somebody unbiased, somebody who's going to tell you the 100% unfiltered truth. Not a yes person who's going to be like, yeah, you was right every time. You're always right. And it's always the other person's fault. You need somebody that's going to be like, nah, you really shouldn't have said it that way. Or here's some other ways that you could have said that probably would have given you the results that you wanted. You might want to figure out how come every time this happens that you get upset. Instead of somebody saying, man, they doing stuff just to make you angry, man. Why you, man, no. Those aren't the type of people that you need in your life. Anyway, I don't want yes people in my life. I don't want people who are not going to hold me accountable to me. Those aren't true friends. A true friend is wants to make you better. And you may not want to hear that you're doing stuff that's crappy, and you don't want to hear that you're doing stuff that's wrong. But a true friend is going to be like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing? A true friend in that video, if they knew what he was planning on doing, wouldn't even let him do it. If they didn't know what he was planning on doing, which I can only assume that they did because they're videotaping, and I'm just going to, that's my own assumption, is that somebody was there with them, and there were some people laughing in the background. There were some people who sounded appalled in the background, but they was all videotaping. Not one of them dudes said, yo, cut that out, stop. Nobody said stop. Nobody said stop. All them dudes that was in the background of the video, nobody said stop. So your true friends would not have let that happen. If they didn't know about it beforehand, they most definitely would have walked up to you when you pulled out that bottle and started pouring it. And another friend would have walked her somewhere like, come on, baby, let's go. Let's go this way. Let's get out of this situation. That's a true friend. A true friend is not going to let you do something detrimental to yourself, to somebody else. That's a true friend. I need true friends. We all need true friends. So get your mental health checked. And it's not weakness to get your mental health checked. It's not weakness. Even if you have a mental illness, we need to get out of that as well. Mental illness is not a weakness. It means something has happened to a person that has affected their mental health. We all go through things. A lot of us are dealing with things and we're just sweeping it under the rug. Like Pastor mentioned yesterday, we just sweep it under the rug. We just sweep it under the rug. I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. Or I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. So we just sweep it under the rug. And next thing you know, we have a whole mountain of stuff under a rug with a cute little flower sat on top. And then we explode. Somebody is, like the straw that broke the camel's back, as they say. And next thing you know, you're just exploding. And the person that you explode on may not have even done anything to you, may not have even done anything crazy, but it was just the last straw. And now they're getting all of this emotional vomit on them and they ain't even do nothing. They didn't do half of the things. They're like, why is she so upset over the toilet seat being up? Like, it can't be that monumental. Like, are you serious? There's a cup in the sink and she's acting like I just pushed her down 3 flights of stairs. Because we sweep trauma, we sweep hurt, especially in particular cultures, especially in our culture, because we think going to mental health workers, psychiatrists, therapists is not what we do. We just gonna pray about it. We just gonna get over it. We're not gonna talk about it. We don't talk about things that go on. And this is why we have so many generational traumas that continue to happen over and over and over again, because we don't do anything to change the behaviors to feel, deal, and heal. We don't want to feel it. We definitely don't want to deal with it, so we can never heal. So I need y'all to do those 3 things. Give permission to say no to your children, to yourself, And you need to know that people have permission to say no to you. People do not need to give you a reason for their no. And that just goes for everything. If you don't want to go somewhere, you have the right to tell your friends, nah, I'm not interested. And they have the right to say they don't want to go. They do not have to give you a reason why they don't want to go to your event. They don't have to give you a reason why they don't want to come to your birthday party. Like, everybody doesn't have to want to do everything that you want to do. Would it be nice? Listen, it'd be nice for me to want to know why people don't want to come. It'd be nice, especially when people say yes, they come in and then they just don't show up. Like, I can't stand that either. So don't do that. Don't tell people you come in and then not show up. But if you don't feel like going somewhere, you 100% have the right to do that. People have the right to say no to you. Understand that. People have the right. You do not have access to everything and everybody. You are not God. You are not whatever higher being you serve or you believe in. Okay. They have access to everything and everybody. You do not. You do not deserve access. You cannot demand it. Any person you want access to, everybody you want around you, they just have to say yes. No. So understand that. One, this is the one I really want to hold in on. You have the right to say no. Your children have, I don't care who it is, to grandma, grandpa, your bestest friend, they have the right to say no. From a young age, we all know kids be like, I don't want to go to her. Stop forcing them. Support your children. And well, I guess she don't want to hug you today. She don't want to go to you today, but I want to hold her, but she don't want you to hold her. So we're going to respect her feelings and her boundaries. And you can talk to her. Maybe later on, she'll let you pick her up. But right now, she don't want you to. Support your child. Support yourself. You have the right to say no. Number two, understand that people have the right to say no to you. And number three, get your mental health checked. It is Mental Health Awareness Month. Get your mental health awareness checked. Go see a professional. Just check in. Just check in. And make sure that you like, follow, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. I do not know where you are watching us from today. If you are on the Diamond Star page, if you're on my page, if you're on Trailblazers page, if you're watching from Facebook, if you're watching from YouTube, whatever platform that you are watching from, make sure that you are following that page. Make sure that you've liked this video that you're seeing. Make sure that you have left a comment for us, and make sure that you go over to Trailblazers Radio, TRAIL. Matter of fact, I'm just going to write it because, I get all messed up. Trail, BLAZERZRADIO. There you go. On all platforms. Make sure that you go and you follow Trailblazers Radio. Yes, I said it right. On all platforms. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and I'm sure we're on a couple of other things. But make sure that you follow Trailblazers Radio so that you can see all of the different shows that we have. It is not just me, of course. There is T Wade, there's Sofa Chats, there's Man Cave Conversations, there's Critical Conversations, there is Girl Chat Weekly, and a few others. I don't remember all the names, but that right there is a bunch right there. You can also sponsor the platform as well and get your product or your business shown across all of the shows, or you could pick a particular show that might resonate more with your product or what the message is that you're trying to get out, and you can sponsor that particular show. We have different ways. You got an event coming up and you want us to help promote it, we can do that for you. So you can email trailblazersradio@gmail.com and ask for more information about that as well. So I look forward to seeing you next Monday right here. Keep an eye out for the time. As like I said, we are moving. I may record a show this week to play for next week because we will be moving in on this coming Saturday. So I may be exhausted come Monday. We moved boxes and stuff this past Saturday, and so it wasn't that bad, but we have our heavy stuff to move this coming weekend, so I may be a little exhausted, and I have some doctor's appointments and things like that coming up, so I may record a show for next Monday. So we may not be live, but there are a bunch of shows coming up. So I believe there's an extra show this afternoon. I think Girl Chat Weekly will be on at 1. And so I will talk to you guys then, and have a beautiful, wonderful day.